is your host, otherwise known as Dr. Afro, riding the Muni bus in San Francisco. Now, that's why we encourage entrepreneurship, more or less, as when you're an entrepreneur and you have access to streams of capital, so on and so forth, you'll be able to avoid such inconveniences as public transportation, so to speak. But when riding public transportation, all the associated dangers and risk of dealing with people who are not inferior, so to speak, but who are less, how can I say, for lack of a better word, less refined, so to speak, in behavior, it has its unpalatable risk and exposure, so on and so forth. So this is why our initiative of entrepreneurship is very, very, very important, because with entrepreneurship comes the ability to access capital for vehicle transportation, modes of transportation, which are more convenient and more at call or at the disposal of the entrepreneurs to be able to move around the location where business needs to be spread and promoted, as well as gain sales leads, et cetera, as opposed to solely depending on public transport. But the main risk with public transport is that in today's population that has decreased morass of civility, or how would you say, traditional values which are on the wane, you are exposed to these types of individuals or different groups, and some of them may not be amicable to dealing with those who have been exposed to more than they have, and some may even react violently, unfortunately, if they have histories of personal violence or lack of self-control or dignity, particularly if they are, it's even myself, but in a limited fashion, ex-incarceration or ex-members of the incarcerated communities. And with incarceration, there is also a latent rage and anger that comes with the bad prospect of incarceration or the experience of incarceration, particularly repeated incarcerations in facilities other than the federal facilities or the upper establishment detention facilities, but particularly the facilities that are state-run, municipal-run, or city-run, which are virtual garbage cans. Relatively to speak, virtual trash cans, as they view other Americans and human beings as pieces of trash, and so forth and so forth. In a country which has taken this trajectory to view its populace as trash or rubbish or subhuman, eventually will decline and even self-destruct, as we are witnessing in our own country, the United States, with the financial maladies which we are now undergoing right now. There is a segment that does not wish to respect minorities, or particularly Afro-Americans, but it is our hope that Afro-Americans, or a select group of Afro-Americans, can band together along with our fellow Caucasian counterparts in America and elsewhere, and begin to build substantial businesses that are efficient, businesses that are sustaining or sustainable, and businesses that will help the greater society, not just the economic aspect as well. So anyway, this is a bit of the view of what one would have to deal with riding or being exposed to what they call public transportation, so to speak. And may God help us to be able to avoid this. But as you see currently, though it is not Dr. Afro's fashion or conservative style of love still exists. Love still exists in one form or fashion. And that courage in itself, as those two, is admirable. Though it is different from Dr. Afro's lifestyle, it is admirable indeed. That's the kind of courage we need in entrepreneurship to be able to take us to a positive station. Over and out. Till next time.
11th Street.